Okay, hi friends. As promised, this is our yoga class, our Fierce Divine yoga class. I apologize in advance for any noise you may hear. I am broadcasting from New York City, specifically from the Bronx, so it might be a little bit loud. So please excuse any noise and use the noises that you might hear as another reminder to deepen your awareness and to deepen your connection to your true self. Uh, in Russian, there's a saying, "Первый блин комом," which loosely translates to the first pancake usually turns out as a mess. So all that to say that this is my first try doing something like this, doing a live Facebook Live yoga class. And I'm doing it for myself as well as for anyone else who would like to participate, of course. So here we go. I did record an audio about 20 minutes long for this class while I was walking home from my son's school. And the audio has a pretty intense background noise. So I'm really torn about whether I should use that or not. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and go off the cuff and not use it. So I really hope you can hear me, and I'm going to go back and listen once I'm done. And if I see that the sound is not coming through, I'll just delete it and record it again. Okay, so let's get started. So here we are, starting our Fierce Divine yoga. And I recommend that you start in a comfortable seated position. It's a nice idea to sit up on something, a cushion or a block, a blanket, maybe a block and a blanket. So just setting yourself up so that you're feeling really centered, aligned, sovereign. So whatever that means for you, you can sit with the legs crossed or in whatever other position feels good. And the hands will rest somewhere along the legs. The eyes will close if that feels comfortable for you, closing the eyes. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can always just bring the gaze down toward the floor in front of you. It's perfectly fine as well. So we begin by placing our attention onto the breath. We start to notice the breathing and recognize this breath as our connection to the divine, our connection to unity, our connection to higher consciousness. This breath is our link with Source, God, the universe, however you want to think of it. So allowing yourself to drop into the body, feel the sensations of your breath, the inhale and the exhale. And then just for about a minute or so, we're going to practice breath technique, a lengthening and deepening of the breath. So we're going to be inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth, which means parting the lips slightly, just releasing the air out. We're going to be deepening our breath, so allowing the inhale to fully inflate the lungs all the way to the top. Pausing there for just a beat. And then on the exhale, releasing all the air out, all the way out, letting it all go. At the bottom of the exhale, you can inhale again. Nice big inhale, really filling up those lungs. Pausing for a beat at the top of the inhale. And then the exhale, opening the mouth, releasing releasing all the air out. I'm just doing that for a couple of more breaths. Nice big inhale, allowing the air to enter the lungs, sending oxygen to all the cells in your body. Pausing for just a split second and then releasing completely, letting it all out on the exhale. Now we're going to let go of that breath technique, coming back to just the regular breathing, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze cast down, and starting to just notice for yourself if anything has shifted, if you feel any different, just from doing that deepening of the breath. So just pausing here, noticing, using our inner knowing, our inner wisdom, using the wisdom of the third eye, first eye, as some call it. So we're practicing this looking within, this honoring the truth inside, which is very much against the mainstream culture, right? Throughout most of our presence in our day, we are concentrating on looking out, affecting the world, fixing what needs to be fixed, just dealing with life. Believe me, I know. But our yoga practice is this amazing, very unique opportunity to gather the attention inside and really feel into your personal body, heart, mind, allowing yourself to be with your sensations, your emotions, your feelings, just being with whatever is arising for you right in the moment. So whenever you're ready, you can open up your eyes. We can keep them closed. We're just going to switch the crossing of the legs. Place the opposite foot in front. Feel free to sit in whatever position works for you. And then we're going to extend the arms upward and just start to find a little movement here, a little flow. I don't know, maybe you want to find a little bit of circling with the hips, some movement with the arms. I think that it does help to close the eyes as we make these movements, because that way we're not distracted by what we see in the room around us or what we see in the video. Because you certainly don't need to imitate what I'm doing in any way. Just feeling into your own body and noticing how good it feels to just move. Really trusting the body's own wisdom here to find your flow, find your breath, allowing yourself to move. It's like you're caressing yourself from the inside. And then inhaling again, allowing the arms to reach up, maybe just softening the shoulders a tiny bit. On the exhale, we're going to move into a forward fold. So the hands might come down to the floor in front of you. If you want to walk the hands out, continuing with that movement, right? So we're releasing all the stagnant energy, anything that has been feeling stuck, anything that has been feeling unnecessary, whatever you're feeling like you're done with, just let it go, let it go. Continuing with our breathing. On the next inhale, Rolling up, reaching the arms overhead as you exhale, moving into a back bend. So we're going to reach the arms behind you, place the fingertips onto the floor, pressing down through the hands, lifting up through the chest. Parting the lips as you exhale here. Beautiful. And then coming back to the seat, arms lifted. Moving into your side bend to one side. Maybe the right hand comes down to the floor. You can either press the whole hand into the floor or kind of tent up the fingertips. And then just playing around with that top arm, seeing what is the movement that's going to help you to release the shoulder girdle, release tension from that top arm, whichever one it is, doesn't matter. Just getting that sense of play and freedom to the left shoulder. On the next in-breath, coming up to center, no rush at all. And then we're going to move over to the other side. Same things, kind of playing around with it. So definitely your movements don't have to look like my movements in any way, shape, or form. Allowing your own personal guidance system to come online here. Trusting your intuition. Inhaling, coming up, exhaling again to the side. Just playing with it, going to one side and then going to the other side. You might notice that you're actually able to breathe a little bit deeper because we're opening some space in the ribs, the side ribs, allowing for more breath to enter the lungs. One more time. To one side and to the other side. Beautiful. And then coming up, lifting the arms. Feeling into that flow. And releasing the arms out and down. Coming back to our seated meditation posture. And again, just checking in, closing the eyes if they're not already closed. Feeling into your divinity, feeling into your humanity. Feeling the breath sweeping in and out of the body. Allowing yourself to really tune in to how you're feeling. Taking your time, making your way into a downward facing dog position. If you're not familiar with downward facing dog, I will demonstrate. And if downward facing dog is not feeling good to you, I have several students who tend to have some wrist pain or shoulder issues. You can most certainly, everyone, we're going to start on our hands and knees. So that's a good way to begin to work with downward facing dog. So from your hands and knees position, you've got to make sure that the palms are pressing firmly into the floor. I'll go this way. And we're going to start to release the spine here by inhaling into cow pose and exhaling into cat pose. So for cow pose, we're lifting the head, we're lifting the tailbone, we're reaching the chest forward. And with cat pose, we're gathering the belly in, dropping the head. And we want to create a flow here. So we're inhaling and we're exhaling, allowing the movement and the breath to become one. Really enjoying this release of the spine. And then we're going to free up the movement even more. So just keeping the hands and the knees grounded into Mother Earth, but allowing everything else to kind of roll around, move around, floating over the ground, giving yourself permission to just explore and play, noticing what feels good, noticing what helps to release tension from the neck, from the shoulders, from the waist, from the hips. One more breath in this exploration. And then we're going to move into child's pose, no rush at all. The knees come a little bit wider apart. It's important that the big toes touch. We're sending the hips back toward the heels. They might not get all the way to the heels, the hips, that's fine. And I highly recommend using a prop such as a yoga block just to allow the forehead, which is our third eye chakra, to release to the ground. So letting the forehead release toward the earth. And the block can come in very handy. For some of us, just due to our anatomy, the forehead does not easily reach the ground. And then the block can be convenient. If you don't have a block, you can use a stack of books, anything that you have handy to allow the forehead to really rest and extend the arms out. Spending a few breaths here. Now taking your next inhale to roll up, making your way to your downward facing dog position. Downward dog, we're pressing the hands into the floor, we're tucking the toes underneath. We're lifting the knees up off of the floor, keeping the knees nice and soft, and lifting the sits bones up toward the ceiling. So lifting your booty up to the ceiling. And again, we're not allowing any stiffness, right? We're just flowing like water, finding a way to play around in this downward dog with the breath here. And then coming back into your child's pose, softening, releasing. So resting in child's pose, just want to make a quick note about downward dog. The pose can feel amazing for some people. And if you're not one of those people, I would definitely recommend modifying your practice. So I can speak at length about it, but maybe you could just send me a private message if you have specific questions. But just know that downward dog and all the things that I'm saying are simply suggestions. And it's really up to you to find your way through the yoga practice, making sure that you are supporting yourself and taking care of yourself in every possible way. And I trust completely that you know how to do that. So everything I'm saying, they're just suggestions. So we're taking a few breaths in our child's pose here. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back to downward dog and take some more flowing, deep, full breaths, movement. And then we're going to start to make our way into a forward fold. So walking the feet forward, walking the hands back. For forward fold, I recommend the feet be hip distance apart, so 2 fists distance apart. And then the knees are bent fairly deeply here, allowing the belly to really rest on the legs. The head is releasing down. It's really warm in here. The head is releasing down, and then you can hold on to your opposite elbows. And finding your flow in the forward fold, maybe moving side to side here, maybe finding movement with the head, continuing to notice and honor the breath. On the next inhale, coming into your long spine, hands are pressing into the legs. The heart is reaching forward. We're hugging the belly in, really finding that length through the sides of the body. And then as you exhale, softening, releasing back into that forward fold. Finding this flow, inhaling long spine. Exhale to release. Inhaling long spine. Exhale to release. One more. Inhaling. And exhaling. So this time we're going to inhale for the long spine position. And then reaching the arms out to the side, soften the knees, bend the knees even more deeply. Press down through the feet, press down into Mother Earth, and then float the arms all the way up toward the sky. Pressing down, lifting up, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, releasing the arms out and down. So we're coming to stand in our mountain pose, Tadasana. Arms are just relaxing down. You can close the eyes here if you like, really feeling into the body, feeling into your higher self, that inner knowing. We got a ding on that one. So the center of the chest, the heart is feeling uplifted, nice and bright. Shoulders are relaxing, arms are relaxing. And I want to caution you against locking the knees. I see a lot of people standing with their knees kind of locked back like that. We want to stand with the knees nice and soft, so we're ready to jump right at a moment's notice. So here we are in our mountain pose, Tadasana. We're going to start to flow through our half sun salute on the inhale. We're extending the arms out and up, lifting through the chest. On the exhale, we're diving forward, coming into that forward fold position. Bend the knees as you come down. Inhaling for your long spine. Exhale to fold forward. Inhaling, reversing the dive. Reaching the arms out and up, floating the arms all the way up to the ceiling, and exhaling the arms down for your mountain pose. We'll do 3 more like that. Go with your breath. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. Exhale, diving forward. Inhaling, long spine. Exhale, release. Inhaling, reverse the dive. Reach the arms out and up. Exhaling the arms down, mountain pose. It's really nice to do this with the eyes closed. Inhaling, lifting the arms up. Exhaling, diving forward, saluting the sun, saluting your higher self. Inhaling, long spine. Exhaling, fold forward. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhaling the arms out and down. Inhaling, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhaling, long spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhaling the arms out and down. Last time. Inhaling, lift the arms up. Exhaling to dive forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhaling the arms out and down. Let's step the feet nice and wide apart now. Keeping the feet parallel. So we're kind of aligning the outer edges of our feet with the edges of the yoga mat. Standing here, breathing deeply. On the inhale, lifting the heart center up toward the ceiling. Hands are on the hips. As you exhale, fold forward, tip your pelvis forward. Allow the torso to release out over the legs. Inhaling into your long spine position. Come up onto your fingertips. Exhale to fold and release. Inhaling, long spine. Reach the arms out to the sides. And then float those arms all the way up, connecting the hands overhead and bringing the hands down toward the heart space. Closing the eyes here if they're not already closed. Just taking a moment in this kind of strange feeling meditation posture. Feeling the breath in the body. Feeling whatever sensations are present. Releasing the arms. We're going to gather the heels in. So now the toes are pointing out. Coming into a goddess squat position. So we want to bend the knees and track the knees out over the toes. So that means we're engaging the belly, particularly the lower abdominals, right? Tailbone releasing down, belly gathering in, lift the arms as you bend the knees, and on the exhale, straighten out the legs and release the arms down by your sides. Playing with this flow, inhaling into the squat, exhaling, straighten the legs, arms down. Inhaling, bending the knees. Exhaling, releasing the arms. Couple more with your breath. One more. Beautiful. Sitting into that goddess squat again. Bringing the hands to the insides of the legs and just doing a little stretch, bringing one shoulder forward and then reversing, bringing the other shoulder forward. A little bit of a twisting through the belly here. Going side to side, remembering your breath. Beautiful. Coming back to that goddess squat and then straightening the legs out. Pointing the toes forward, softening the knees, and let's hop the feet back together. A little hop, or you can step, of course. Totally optional to hop. So Fierce Divine Yoga. To me, this practice is all about connecting to the very human and at the same time very spiritual aspect of ourselves. Right, so we want to honor both this kind of messy, bloody, gory, raw part of ourselves, and also this enlightened wisdom part of ourselves. Marrying those together in our yoga practice, as well as in our lives. So we're going to sit into fierce pose called Utkatasana in Sanskrit. For Utkatasana, we want to have the feet parallel the same way as in our mountain pose. We're going to start bending the knees, but we don't want the knees to come forward, right? We want the hips to drop back as the knees bend. So you can see my knees are staying right above the ankles. And then the torso needs to move forward, and the arms can come forward as a counterbalance here. This is a really great pose to build up fire, to work out the legs, and also to engage through the core. So we're just breathing here and always, always finding some movement, some way to flow a little bit. Stretching whatever needs to be stretched, releasing whatever needs to be released. One more inhale, fierce pose, and exhale, forward fold, releasing everything out. Walking the hands forward, walking the feet back, downward facing dog position. And then continuing to strengthen the legs and the core, we're going to inhale to come forward into a plank, which is like the top of a push-up. And exhale, lifting the hips up and back. I highly encourage bending the knees to really get that stretch through the side body. Inhaling, we're coming forward. And you can do this on the knees as well if you like. And exhaling, downward dog. Couple more like that. So we're inhaling into plank position. And exhaling, downward dog. And then we're going to bring the knees down. Move into some seated poses now. Starting with butterfly pose. So the feet coming together, the knees opening nice and wide. You can also sit up on some padding for this. Probably not as much padding, so I'm not going to sit on my yoga block here. Although I'm going to keep it next to me, just in case I need it. From here, we're holding onto the ankles, the feet are pressing together. And we want to lift through the heart, so really lengthening through the front of the spine. Take a nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, start to melt the heart forward, keeping the spine as long as possible. Again, just find some movement here. So good. Stretch out here until you can come all the way forward, whatever that means for you. It might look quite different from the way I'm doing it. We're looking for the forehead, our third eye energy center, to release toward the feet, which is our part of our root chakra. And for some of us, it's super easy. For others of us, it's not actually anatomically possible in this lifetime. So that's why we have these handy dandy blocks. So you can use your block either on top of the feet or in front of the feet. That way you can rest the forehead. So this is optional, of course, but this makes it a more restorative pose if you have blocks handy. And taking an inhale to roll up slowly. Take your time. Place the block over to the side. Take your hands behind the knees. Gather the knees together. Walk the feet forward. So the feet, I'm just going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. The feet are pressing into the floor. The hands are going to go behind the back with the fingers pointing in. We're going to move into tabletop position. So press into the hands to lift the chest. You can either stay here or you can press into the feet and lift the hips. In my preschool yoga classes, this is one of the favorite moves for the kids. So continue to strengthen the back by lifting the hips, lifting the chest, breathe into the shoulders. You can drop the head back if you like, if that feels good to you. One more inhale here. And as you exhale, bring the hips down. We're going to gather the ankles and the inner knees together. And then we're going to start to lift the feet up off of the floor. So coming into our boat pose. You can stay here or you can extend the arms forward. This is a really nice core strengthener, either keeping the knees bent or straightening the legs out if you like. I'm going to keep them bent. Breathing here deeply. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, gather the knees in, wrap the arms around the legs. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And bring the feet down, hands behind the back. Coming into our tabletop again. Press down through the feet, press down through the hands. Maybe lift the hips up. Exhaling by sighing it out, parting the lips. One more in-breath. And exhale, bringing the seat down. Now we're going to sit in a cross-legged position. Ooh, sweating. And we're going to move into a twist, extending the arms up overhead and twisting to the right. Twisting in one direction. If you're twisting to the right, the left hand can hold on to the right leg. The right hand can be behind you, looking over the right shoulder. And then unwinding, coming back to center, reaching the arms up. Exhaling to twist to the other side. Coming back to center, reaching the arms up. On the exhale, releasing the arms out and down, resting the hands on your lap. We're going to conclude with a short meditation before we do a self-directed Shavasana. So maybe you want to sit up on something, finding that comfortable seat that we were playing with earlier. Again, closing the eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And if you can, maybe recall what you were feeling like at the beginning of our practice. And just notice if anything has shifted, if there's anything that feels different to you about your energy flow, about your breath, about your body. Are you able to notice any parts of the body that feel more open, feel more relaxed? If not, that's fine. We're just we're practicing seeing on the inside. So really tuning in and noticing and acknowledging what it is that we're feeling on the inside. And we're sitting here with our natural breath. Again, feeling that connection of the breath. This breath unifies all the beings that inhabit this planet. All the humans, all the animals, all the birds, all the fish, even the trees. Maybe we can think about them breathing as a reverse of our breathing. So all of nature is breathing alongside us. We're all synchronized with the breath of Mama Earth. Allowing yourself to rest in the deep knowing of your divine nature. If you like, you can place one hand at the heart center, one hand at the low belly, the sacral. Just continuing to feel into your energy flow, feel into your breath. Recognizing yourself as a divine being, eternal, unending, present, right here in this moment. Taking one more inhale here, and exhale here. And then we're going to gather our hands together, pressing the right palm into the left palm into the right. The heart lifts up toward the thumbs. This gathering of the hands at the heart chakra represents our connection to our own divinity, our trust in our own God self. And bowing to that, thank you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this Fierce Divine Yoga practice. My recommendation is for you to lie on your back and rest in Shavasana for at least 5 minutes, ideally 10 minutes. This is what I'm going to do right now after I stop the recording. And as we lie here together in our Shavasana, just relishing what it feels like to be in this moment, to be alive in this body, as much as you can, releasing from that ego mind that tends to come up to take us away from the present moment, without judging, without recrimination. Just if you notice something coming up for you about your to-do list or whatever else, worries or anxieties are intruding, just say to yourself, I'll get to this later, and allow it to float away. Taking this time to rest deeply within yourself, giving yourself this 5 minutes or so to deeply rest. Some say Shavasana is the most important part of our yoga practice. So I definitely recommend that you don't skip this part. And finally, when you come out of your Shavasana, I highly recommend drinking a tall glass of water. Water is life. You know that. So again, thank you so much. I hope this was of benefit to you. I would love to hear from you. Any comments, I would super, super appreciate it. And enjoy the rest of your fierce divine day.